judging is one of the more flexible categories in the extraordinary ability visas. However, you still need to show that you were invited to judge the work of other professionals and that you actually carried out the judging. So, what are the details here?
Yeah, so judging is actually one of my favorite criteria because you can, really get creative here. I would say things like hackathons, peer review, paper review, judging competitions, startup pitches, all of that will be good evidence for this criteria. There are not that many limitations, so you can get really creative. The two things that you need to be careful are not to judge work of students. I mean, you can still do it, but just not for the EB-1 or the O1. And judging or reviewing things within your organization. Like sometimes people come and say, well, I had to approve the code before it gets deployed. That's not going to work for this criteria because you're doing that as part of your KPIs or as part of your job duties.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, this is about you being recognized and sought after as an expert, right?
Yeah, so this is exactly. So this is about you being recognized by the field. They want your input, and then you get invited to, review the papers or judge the hackathon. Now, another thing here is not to confuse judging and mentoring. So when you mentor, maybe you mentor, there are 10 companies, there's a startup competition, and you're a mentor for these 10 companies for that startup competition, but you're not judging them. You don't sit on the judging chair and determine who wins first prize or second prize. You're just giving feedback. So that piece of evidence will not be considered under the judging criteria, but we can use it obviously to strengthen your case, maybe final merits, maybe other criteria as relevant.
Got it. What about when you're helping select the next cohort of an accelerator or choosing the next member of an association or this type of thing?
Yeah, that would definitely be considered judging. I always encourage these activities, and it just helps with the with the overall the final merits and other criteria. So that's great evidence.
Got it. What about the documentation? Sometimes this judging is a bit informal, right? You are reviewing something, maybe it's just an email exchange. Like, what do you show?
So the most important piece of evidence is the evidence that you actually judged or completed the assignment. That's what USCIS wants to see. The invitation to judge is great, but the invitation alone is not sufficient. So sometimes we get emails when you do the judging, and then you get a thank you email, thank you for your time for judging X, Y, and Z competition. Sometimes it's a certificate of completion, so that also works. And sometimes the clients tell us, well, I don't have anything. So in that case, they can reach out to the organization or the journal they work with and get a letter basically confirming that they judged or they reviewed the papers.
Got it. What about if I have been invited to judge, but that's in 6 months and I want to present my case tomorrow?
So that will not work for the judging criteria because we don't have evidence that you have completed the assignment. But that's great evidence for the final merits to show that the field is interested in what you, in your skills, in your expertise, and that you're continuing to expand and you're sustaining your extraordinary ability.
That's great. So remember, when you're claiming judging, it's about being invited, not doing it for students or within your organization, and actually completing the judging.